Thank you for joining me. I'm Alex, and I would like to talk to you about 5G today. And so, what is 5G? Why does it matter? Why should you care? And who profits? So, 5G is the next cellular data standard. So, what you have now is LTE, which they call 4G, and before that was 3G, which is GSM, which was incredibly slow and basically not really worth it. There was actually another standard before that, but it was basically too slow to be usable for anything at all ever. So 5G has a higher bandwidth, lower latency, and there is a chance to do things with the antennas that you cannot currently do with 4G, or at least not easily. Basically, that means that they can increase the reach of the antennas dynamically by using 2, 3, 4, maybe even more antennas, and using the interference of those to kind of project the signal over a longer distance. So all of that is fairly complicated, but obviously it will be automatic, and obviously it will be handled with software that already exists. So why should you care? You should not really anyway. So in this country, which is the United States of America, it will not make a difference for any end user for the foreseeable future, because first of all, 4G is more than enough to do anything you want to do. You could stream 4K movies over LTE if there were not too many other people using the network at the same time to do very data heavy stuff. And you are not currently limited by bandwidth. You're limited by volume, which means that most contracts, even the unlimited ones, put a cap onto how much data you can use before you either pay extra or they downgrade your speed to something that's unusable for video streaming and things that will significantly slow you down. Most of them, you can still do video streaming in very bad quality, but kind of not really what you want, but it's something that you don't really mind as long as it doesn't cost you any extra. There's other contracts that actually do charge you extra. I have one of those, but basically I always use Wi-Fi, pretty much always use Wi-Fi, and so whether or not it's 5G or 3G or 4G is not really of any concern to me. When I go to McDonald's, I'm on Wi-Fi. When I'm at work, I'm on Wi-Fi. When I'm at home, I'm on Wi-Fi. And when I'm driving, I'm not looking at my phone because I don't want to kill myself. So 4G is enough for me for basically a decade to come, because I'm pretty much always on Wi-Fi. So for the end user, it doesn't make any difference. Now, you need fewer cell towers and antennas for 5G than you did for 4G because of the increase of bandwidth per antenna. And what that means is also that more people can use a single cell tower because the time to send the information gets shorter and shorter, so the same antenna can be used to send different data to a different customer, which means that the speed for everyone increases just by the pure virtue of the antenna not being busy half the time sending data to other people. So it makes a huge difference for the cell phone providers who are shouldering all the investment and are kind of stuck right now with the problem that there's no end user 5G things available, but they kind of need to proceed building the infrastructure anyway, because in the future, obviously people want to use the 5G networks and will be annoyed if there's only 4G available in pretty much everywhere, which again is something that's going to happen for the foreseeable future. So the big metropolitan areas will get 5G in the next year-ish, I assume. It might even take longer than that, but with America being very spread out, I assume that rural people who pretty much still don't get LTE in this day and age are going to be waiting quite a long time. But replacing 3G with 5G would actually help a lot of people. So I assume that there will be no point in which you currently don't get LTE and in the future you will. I think that all the building up of LTE is just going to end, and they're going to build up 5G. So if you currently don't get LTE, you're going to need a 5G device to get higher speeds in the future. Now, who profits? Why? And when? That's a big problem. So all the manufacturers of the equipment for the providers already profit and already seeing revenues increase significantly because the time to build up is now. For everyone else, there will be a huge boost next year with the iPhone having LTE, very likely. Obviously, they don't tell you that beforehand. I assume the Pixel, the Google phone, will have a LTE when it comes out. It gets released next month, or it will get announced next month, which means it likely will get released next month. I assume it already has 5G, but obviously I cannot be sure, and obviously it also doesn't make a difference. But I think Apple will greatly profit from LTE next year when their LTE devices come out, 5G, obviously, when their 5G devices come out, because people are kind of waiting for 5G devices to come out to kind of upgrade, because even a 2-year-old phone finally is good enough for pretty much anything that you do with it. There has not been a major upgrade in cell phone or tablet or mobile computer hardware in the past 2, 3, even 4 years. So people can use their old phones longer and longer, but the 5G thing will be a major incentive to upgrade. So Samsung, Apple, Google, possibly others. There's a lot of Chinese manufacturers, Huawei being the major one. They obviously don't see much of a difference right now because they are prevented from entering the market, but there's other manufacturers that are entering the market that will have 5G phones and that will see a huge boost because most people are kind of waiting for better hardware to come out right now. So, for me, I will probably upgrade my phone, not because I need a 5G phone, but because I need a wireless charging phone, because when you plug it in, it kind of doesn't charge half the time, so it's probably going to die soon. If I didn't have that, my 2-year-old phone would be good enough for probably another 2, 3, 4 years without a problem. Should you upgrade to 5G? I would say no. I don't see any benefit to any end user right now and next year and the year after. So if you're kind of on the fence and you're wondering, should I really get a new iPhone because 5G came out next year? It's not going to be this year. I would say no, because 4G is plenty good enough, and the problem is not that 4G can't handle the bandwidth. The problem is that there's too many people with too many phones doing too much streaming right now. Anyway, that's it for me for today. If you like this video and you haven't already, make sure to subscribe. I'm coming out with more videos every day before market open. I hope you have a successful day.